Hey crypto bros, hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. Hope you're enjoying the current state of the market. We're going to be talking about Zen. We're going to cover BABB regulation, a trade calls that I've been posting on Twitter that you actually want to follow. You don't want to miss this, guys. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, I give you the alpha, I give you the golden nuggets, the trade calls for free. All you have to do is just basically like the video, follow me on Twitter, and I give you these free trading calls to maximize your portfolio, whether you're in the bear market, whether you're in the bull market. I show you the trades I take, full responsibility in regards to them, guys. Nobody on YouTube is going to do that, right? At the end of the day. But, look, I prepare your portfolio. This is not financial advice, guys. I show you what I'm doing personally with my portfolio, the trades that I take, and you can actually follow these trade calls. And I tell you, everything is based off of probabilities. There is no guarantees in this crypto market, guys. You have to have a strategy to maximize your overall portfolio. You will have losses in this game, but you want to minimize your losses as much as possible. And the only way you do that is by actually having a strategy. I did post on May 30th, guys. I said BABB is in the works to consolidate on lower levels before a drive. And that's what we saw. We can see that we were being met constantly by this resistance line on the weekly time frame, and it's acting as heavy resistance every time we come and face that particular trend line. And as we were coming, we can see the stochastic on very, very low levels. We can see we went through a consolidation phase, just like I noted on the 4-hourly. After that consolidation phase, we started to actually have a drive up. And this is what I noted. Played like a champ, you would be almost up half of your stack if you took this trade, locked in some profits on this trade. Let's this big boy ride out. And that's what I'm doing. I have a long-term portfolio in BABB. I'm also trading BABB. Showed you my trading calls. So let's go to the chart, talk about it, guys. So we can see we went through the consolidation phase right here, right? We went through that consolidation phase right there, and then we went up almost 47%. BABB is retesting that point of resistance, broke off of it at this point. This is good for my overall long-term portfolio. I did buy the dip once it actually dipped here. So I accumulated some backs overall, which is good. And I have some dry powder if it does go a lot lower. But it looks pretty nicely because we're going to be testing this particular resistance line right here. There's a lot of confluence of resistance right here. If we can get above this particular resistance line around the 38584, this is good because this gives us a bit of a support structure to actually go above and retry the areas of 80710. Now, if you look at the daily, guys, if we bring up the daily, right? We've been discussing this on our channel. I talked about how BABB was gonna have a major move. So if you followed me all months during this particular move, congratulations, because you made roughly about 2,000%, guys, which is phenomenal. And if you would have taken your 2,000%, got into Zen, because Zen hadn't pumped at that time. If you would have gotten in Zen and followed my Zen call, you would have been up substantially as well too. But let's talk about this. We are being faced by this heavy resistant structure, right? We broke out of it. Now, usually what happens is when you break out of a certain trend line that's been acting as resistance for a very particular long time, coming in all the way, right? Coming all the way from March of 2023. So heavy resistance every time we're coming. And what usually price does is it breaks out of that trend line, comes back, tries to retest to make sure that we can actually have a bit of a support structure before that big shift in price action. And that's what happened, right? We got in this consolidation zone that we were discussing, and then, you know, rockets to the moon, guys. That's what we do here. We do rockets to the moon. But again, this is basically what's happening. It's coming off of the news of Redefi, guys. So the BABB application, again, pretty cool application. I am a big advocate of self-custodying your own funds, right? Whether it's a hardware wallet, paper wallet, whatever you can do to self-custody your own funds, I'm a big advocate for that. But what we need to see is, because if we want to see mass adoption, okay, whether it's your grandma, your grandpa, or seniors or whatever, how do they get access to crypto? At the end of the day, they cannot remember their seed phrase. They cannot remember a 12 key seed phrase or 24 key seed phrase. They don't know how to self-custody themselves. You can try to teach them, but most likely they won't understand it. Okay, it's very hard for somebody who's not tech savvy to fully understand and comprehend what's currently happening with DeFi, what's currently happening with, you know, all that crypto has to offer for in regards to financial inclusion. Yes, look, I'm all about decentralization, but at the end of the day, you can actually play both sides of the game to maximize your portfolio. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about that Bitcoin. I'm all about Zen first principles at the end of the day. But we see a lot of people get shifted to XRP because at the end of the day, we know that regulation is going to come into the space. It's a given no matter what. There's a battle happening between decentralization and centralized entity. I would rather play both sides of the game. No matter what happens, I know I'm secured overall. My portfolio is secured because I have assets that are innovating the regulatory framework, guys. And that's what BABB is doing. I'm creating a portfolio that's ready even if regulation comes into space, because we're seeing a lot of countries, you know, have a lot of backfire in regards to, you know, them not cracking down in regards to crypto, just like we're seeing with Qatar. Qatar, at the end of the day, they're having a lot of backlash in regards to crypto regulation because they're not regulating it. We're seeing Florida, we're seeing Texas. A lot of these states that were pro-friendly to crypto are starting to bring in regulation. Regulation is going to be the key. And good regulation is always good. The reason being is because it brings in mass adoption, where you don't have these rug pulls. You don't have these, you know, these protocol rugging you. There's a lot of things even in decentralization that is actually bad overall. You know, we talk about mass adoption, but how do you achieve mass adoption when there's a lack of knowledge happening around the world? You first need to introduce people to a more user-friendly platform that allows them to get into this without having to be rugged. We went through BlockFi, a centralized entity, essentially crash. We went through Terra Luna, that was a decentralized protocol that basically collapsed, and so on and so on. The full years of 2021 and 2022 were not shy of actual rug pulls. Okay, we saw so many things fall apart in the past couple of years, and that's why I think regulated DeFi caters to regulation. Regulated DeFi, RDF20, guys, is going to allow you to do DeFi in a regulated, safe manner, meaning that protocols that are coming into this particular mainnet are going to be safe tested at the end of the day to make sure that if you wanted to come into this protocol, that it's in a regulatory manner, guys. So it's pretty cool at the end of the day because this is what we need. We need something that allows you to do things like this, right? Build protocols, DeFi on something that is regulatory friendly and regulatory friendly in a safe, efficient manner. Okay, we're seeing XRP go against the SEC for the past year or two, and there are good things and there's bad things about it. Okay, they're trying to fight the idea that they are not a security, and they're trying to fight and create a regulatory framework overall. Whether they succeed or not, that's yet to be determined and yet to be seen. However, look, the ball has been dropped in the United States in regards to regulatory. The SEC, Gary Gensler, has come out and he's dropped the ball on many of these altcoins. And he's under heavy fire because if regulation comes into this space and there are harsh regulations, that can hamper the United States getting into a pivotal role in regards to crypto. We can bring in regulation that doesn't hamper innovation. And that's what BABB is doing. They're basically bringing in the regulatory framework that brings in innovation, that brings in financial inclusion to many people around the world. Because we see third world countries like El Salvador that even at the end of the day, they may have accepted Bitcoin, like Argentina or any other of these countries. They may have accepted Bitcoin, but the transaction fees are so high that it's not even usable for them. The average salary in the third world country is around $200 to $300 a month in US dollars. And when you're getting rugged left and right in regards to these protocols, it doesn't look too good overall. You know, we talk about regulation, we talk about decentralization, trying to cater to many people and bring in financial inclusion. But when you're getting rugged and these transaction fees are so high, you're basically, what are we trying to achieve at the end of the day, right? We're trying to help the little guys to bring them into financial inclusion, and that's what BABB is doing, right? They're doing it in an easy, efficient manner that's low cost, a barrier. If you use the BABB application and you send to anybody around the world, right, there is 0 transaction fees within the BABB application. But again, that's with, you know, having your funds on this particular app, which I don't recommend to do, but the options are there. They're gonna be coming out with their debit card, which allows you to use crypto in the real world, whether you want to buy a coffee or you want to pay your bills overall. It's gonna be able to do that. You have access to a UK bank account where you can open up a UK bank account anywhere around the world, guys. A GPP account, which is a pretty cool feature in itself. It has access to currency X, so stablecoin remittance, right? The remittance feature, pretty cool. Has access to crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Tether has access to the BAX token. And this is why BABB will do phenomenally well, guys. They're poised to do very well, and you want to have something like this in your portfolio that's regulated friendly. Look, you can play the Zen side as well too, and you can play the BAX side. Nothing wrong with that. Let's quickly jump into BAX, guys. Let's jump into BAX because I know this video is getting too long in regards to BABB, but we'll talk about Zen here, guys. We'll talk about Zen. Zen, again, full retracement, almost back to the low local bottoms. Again, we went up substantially, guys, right? We went up about 2,000% on BAX. And then after that, we had a big, massive run up in Zen, guys. 1,200%, which is pretty cool. You would have taken your gains, went into Zen, guys. You would have done phenomenally well. However, so far, we've retraced from that local top to the bottom of this. We've retraced about 87%. So not too good in regards to that. However, there is big reasoning. Zen had a big pop in regards to overall marketing, got a lot of exposure out there in the crypto space, which is good. Exposure like this is very good. However, a lot of fundamentals are going to come into play. And what we need to see is same thing that we saw with BABB here. Okay, we want to see a breakaway. Okay, we want to see a breakaway above 177. Okay, now we might follow a bit lower. Okay, we might come back to 141 area. So if we zoom in just to show you guys a bit better. So if we come back a bit lower here, okay, and then pop up, this is gonna be good. Now we do have Dbxnfts coming out. We have a lot of projects building out on Zen. But one thing I want you guys to pay attention to is this particular future supply trend chart on zenturbo.io, guys. Okay, once Dbxnft comes out, this in particular, the future supply that's going to be burnt out is going to be substantial. It's going to cause a demand shock in Zen on Ethereum, guys. And this is the narrative where these other chains are going to come into play, okay? Where you're going to see these other chains become very valuable as well too, because a lot of volume is going to shift back into those other chains. A lot of liquidity is going to go into those chains because there's not going to be enough Zen to go around on Ethereum. If Dbxnft launches and it burns a substantial amount and this flatlines, you have the narrative set for the other chains. That means if you already been there, you already been minting, even during this whole downturn that we had in Zen, even if you're still minting, guys, there's a high probabilistic case that if Dbxnft comes out and it burns a huge supply, the other chains are going to benefit substantially because people are going to want to go on the other chains, create that same demand that we had with Ethereum as well too. And they want to participate in the Zen ecosystem. There will be a demand shift in the Zen ecosystem, guys. Okay, and if you've been minting during this whole process, you're gonna be the one benefiting overall. The cost of entry barrier to onboard yourself into Zen is very, very low overall. Now, we did see a shift. Okay, we did see that the longest period was 361 days that people were actually minting overall. Now that has shifted to 91 to 180 days because they want their mints a lot earlier so they can actually maybe participate into some of these projects that are going to be coming out, or getting ready maybe for X1 and they want to essentially burn and do, or even sell if the price of Zen reacts very well with Dbxnft, so that they can actually have some liquid Zen to actually set off on the market. But this most likely will flatline, but we won't get a good indication until Dbxnft comes out. Huge shift is happening in Zen, guys. We can see there is maximum fear, extreme fear in the Zen ecosystem, and this is the time you want to participate and continue on minting, guys. Just a few projects burnt a huge amount in Zen, guys. Took a lot of the supply off. Okay, a lot of that liquid supply we can see. Okay, 6 trillion has already been burned, guys. Okay, taken off of that, which is crazy, guys. And the gas fees are very low, so again, no excuses there, guys. So I'll leave you off with that. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, bros, as always, stay profitable.